And we are back. Welcome to something a little different for you today. I'm just testing the water with one of these. It is tier list time for Marvel Rivals Season 4. However, unlike the vast majority of the content creators out there that do these tier lists on Marvel Rivals, I am going to be focusing on the lower ranks, because that is where 75% of the community is. It is where all of the new players coming in, starting Marvel Rivals for the first time is. And a lot of the top content creators are all in Grandmaster, Celestial, Eternity, One Above All, Top 500. They don't have an appreciation for how vastly different the gameplay is down in the lower ranks. So I'm sort of bracketing this as like bronze through to like diamond. This is going to be a metal ranks tier list for the start of Season 4 based on what I've experienced over the course of the first couple of weeks. So as always, if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see this coming up every single season. As I said, I'm testing it out, I'm seeing how it performs, but let's just get straight into it. Starting off with the Vanguards, which allows us to immediately talk about Marvel Rivals' newest character, which is, of course, Angela. I am going to put Angela down here in the D tier because, to be honest with you, she is only good for one thing at the lower ranks, and that is poking people. People don't have the mechanical skills to fly around efficiently with her. They don't know how to use the fuel utility of her kit. And the only real value you get is if you know how to fly around and then poke someone either off the map or poke them into your team. That is the only way you get utility out of Angela in the lower ranks. She's more effective, I would say, in lower ranks than in higher ranks, but that's really it. If you're someone that wants to pick up Angela for the first time, that would be my advice. Just learn how to effectively jab someone, fly into the back, jab a healer off the map, jab a healer into your own team, and you'll get some value out of her. But with the amount of hard counters to her, especially in the lower ranks, with how much more effective the likes of Namor are, Scarlet Witch are, Cloak and Dagger are defensively, all of those sort of characters, they're going to cause major, major problems for Angela. So for me, it's been a miss in terms of how to use her from the Marvel Rivals team. When you saw the trailers for her, I thought she was going to be insane. She has been absolutely terrible so far. On to Bruce Banner, where I'm kind of torn. I feel like I could put him anywhere from B to S tier, but for now, I'm just going to settle him in around A tier because I think, firstly, Hulk is an incredibly useful character, but again, in the lower ranks, people don't know how to use the actual Hulk himself effectively. They don't know how to use his ults effectively, but what he does provide is obviously those brilliant team-ups for Namor and Black Panther, who are significantly better characters in the lower ranks compared to the higher ranks. So on team up alone, it gets him up to A tier. If it was just playing Hulk outright, I'd probably put him down in B tier. But again, his kit utility is quite easy for new players. In terms of offense, it's mainly just punch, 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 punch. They'll throw a clap in, they'll throw a freeze in. And his bubble gamma shield thing is really effective when teams are grouped up. But one of the biggest problems with tanks, as we're going to talk through when we go to other characters, is that the biggest issue with tanks is there's a lot of solo tanking in the lower ranks. And if you go in as a solo tank Hulk, realistically, you're not going to provide a lot of value. So I'm going to put him in A tier for the team-ups, but overall, difficult character in the lower ranks. Captain America, he's been high for a while, but for me, I think I have to push him down to B tier now, purely because of the consistent nerfs over the course of the last few seasons. He's still effective, but he's become a bit more of an annoyance rather than a genuine threat. You look at some of the dive characters you've got in the DPS side of things, they are much more effective in the lower ranks than what Captain America is. The utilities of Captain America puts a lot of pressure on opposition supports, can draw opposition supports away from a fight, and can be the difference in certain situations. His ultimate is really, really effective if used correctly. This is where I have to keep reiterating that this is about lower ranks. In higher ranks, you use Captain America's ult as an additional support ult. You use it as a stalling ult. In lower ranks, the vast majority of Captain Americas will see someone that's weak and then use their ult to make sure they finally get that kill. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is it's a complete waste of Captain America's ult. He does not get enough value out of it when he's doing that. And of course, as I've already mentioned, only one tank gets played the vast majority of times. And if you're solo tanking Captain America, you've basically got no point presence. Next up, Doctor Strange, who has been buffed and buffed and buffed. And he has been buffed all the way to the S tier of the lower ranks, in my opinion. His got a really good ability to solo tank. He's got 800 health shield. He's got a lot of health to begin with. He can fly. He's a consistent point presence. He does a lot of damage from range and close up. He provides an insane team up ability to both Scarlet Witch and Magic, who are absolutely devastating in the lower ranks. He's possibly the best tank pick in the game right now to be an out and out tank. He can just sit on the point, do his job, and of course he has the most useful ability in the entire game, which is the portal. Yes, people use it majority to try and get kills off the map in the lower ranks, but in certain situations you will see players use the portal to get people back on the point. For me right now, Strange, absolutely insane in the lower ranks. As is Emma Frost. Unsurprisingly, she is going to remain in S tier. I don't know how you can nerf her enough where she's either not going to be in S tier or straight down to like the C and D tier, because her utility is absolutely insane. Again, she's got the ability to solo tank. She's got the ability to counter dive. She can be offensive, defensive. She's got one of the best ults in the game. Her diamond form is ridiculous. The amount of damage she does is ridiculous, even after the nerfs. She's got a really good team up with Magneto and Psylocke, which you don't see anywhere near as much in lower ranks, but when it's actually used, when you actually have Emma and Magneto and you have two tanks, it's really, really hard to play against. So she has to stay in S tier until they nerf her even more. She's not going to change from S tier. She's my go-to tank when it comes to actually playing versatile. Strange is my go-to when we're being a bit more, let's concentrate on playing the point. But for all-round usage, Emma is still the best. Groot I have difficulties with because, again, certain things about the lower ranks are a real issue for Groot. Target priority is a massive one. The fact that many people end up having to solo tank is a massive problem. And the amount of people that play certain DPSs in the lower rank make it really hard to get good uses out of Groot. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to put Groot in C tier. The biggest issue I've noticed when I've had Groots on my team is, say your team's running Iron Man, Squirrel Girl, Namor, Phoenix, Scarlet Witch, whatever. What you'll find, especially someone like Punisher as well, is your own team will destroy your Groot walls. The other team won't. The other team don't care about where you put your Groot walls. But your own team will destroy your own Groot walls to get them out of the way so they can carry on shooting at what they're shooting at. There's just very rare opportunities to get usage out of Groot. He's obviously hard countered by Emma as well, who is the most played tank in the lower ranks. So it's just not a great place for Groot right now. It's lower ranks. I think in higher up ranks, you'd probably put him in B tier or A tier because people that know how to use the character will get a lot more usage out of him. But unfortunately, in these lower ranks, it just doesn't happen for the poor guy, and he's going to have to sit down in the C tier. Magneto is up next, and this might surprise a few people, especially considering I am a Magneto player. I'm actually going to put Magneto in B tier right now. I'll put him above Captain America. I think he's got more uses than Captain America. But at the moment, I'm not convinced he is a great pick, considering the other options you've got available to you. He's not going to do as much damage as, say, a Thor, who we're going to get to shortly. He's not got as much defensive capabilities as Doctor Strange. His shield is way better. He's not got the sort of range that you even have on like a Groot, or like I say, Emma Frost will do consistently more damage going forward. She's got a better shield than Magneto. His bubble effect is not as good as the Hulk's, because the Hulk's protects himself and everyone around him. Magneto can only protect himself or one person. The only real good usage of Magneto, certainly in lower ranks, is to counter ults. He can obviously bomb Lunas and Mantises and Cloak and Daggers out of the sky. He can counter Iron Man ults. He can counter Punisher ults. He can counter a whole bunch of different things. But in the lower ranks, unless you're someone that knows to do that, the vast majority of Magneto people that I see in the lower ranks are just there because they're paired up with Emma, which is great to see, by the way. I keep talking about it. We only see two tanks the very, very few times. But they'll use it for the team up with Emma just to get a little bit more output. And they'll just use their ult sparingly. They'll just see a chance to ult someone. Like I said about Captain America, ult usage in lower ranks is absolutely horrendous. They'll see someone they think they can kill. They'll see that they have their ult, so they'll just chuck their giant ball at them rather than saving it for an actual useful moment. So, for me, a useful character. I don't think he's strong enough to solo tank in the lower ranks because the opposition is probably going to be running 3 DPSs as well. If those are a lot of ranged characters, Mag is getting absolutely deleted. So he's got utility. That's why I put him in B tier, but he's not as strong as the other 3 tanks I have already put in. Penny, I mean, it's the lower ranks. What would you expect? Of course, Penny's going in the S tier. She's got the highest win rate in the lower ranks. She absolutely dominates, especially on defense and on domination maps. If people know where to put her nests, or even if people don't know where to put her nests, she is still such a pain in the arse. If she is in a position where she is set up, target priority in the lower ranks just does not exist. People will just shoot the person that's right in front of them. They will shoot at Penny before they shoot at Penny's nests. They will walk into the webs and get blown up by the mines. Her buffs have been insane for her at lower ranks. The slowing ability of the spider drone is absolutely insane. The extra amount of mines you can put out in her ult is massive because people just don't notice that there are mines on the floor. They run into them and they just explode. So lower ranks, Penny is just a go-to pick. I've got something like a 90% win rate on Penny this season after the buffs. She is absolutely insane. But I do know a lot of the good Penny setup, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm like a bronze level Penny. I would consider myself quite a high level Penny. Not like insane, but I know how to get usage out of Penny. I win an awful lot of games when I play her. She's a ridiculous character for defense. She's a very good character on domination, and they just don't know how to target her effectively in the lower ranks. And then finally, we've got, 3 more tanks to go through. We've got the Thing, who unfortunately I'm also going to have to put in C tier, just because, again, the environment that he's in. Likelihood is he's coming up against 3 DPSs. He's just going to go boom. There is no other way of talking about it. He comes up against the Squirrel Girl, Punisher, Iron Man, a lot of the top DPS characters that we're going to get to shortly at the lower ranks. He's dead. Like, he is dead. His sustainability at lower ranks is just non-existent. There are opportunities for him to be successful, but again, if he's going up against a Penny, he's going boom. If he goes up against Emma, he's getting stopped. He's a good counter to Strange, but if it's just Strange against just Thing, the DPS on the side that's got Strange is going to end up killing the Thing before the Thing kills Strange. So I just don't see a lot of value in Thing right now. The only thing that puts him in C tier above D tier is the fact that his ult can single-handedly turn rounds around, which is also kind of why Groot is in C tier. Both of them have really good ults that you can either combo with other people or just use to make an opportunity to win a certain fight. Outside of that, Thing is not doing anything for me right now. Thor, I think, is the best character in the game. I really do. I might even make a additional tier that is just for Thor. I think he is absolutely busted right now. All you need to do as a Thor main in the lower ranks is just make sure there's a healer anywhere near you. You don't die. You simply don't die. I had a run of games last week where I got 18 MVPs or SVPs in a row on Thor. He is absolutely busted. He's my go-to pick when I'm going for tanks right now. His buffs have been insane. The damage he does now is ridiculous. The extra health he gets from certain situations is incredible. His ult change is mad. Absolutely mad. He can keep up with supports as they're running away from your ult, and then he just absolutely blows them up. And like I say, if he's got the right set of support behind him, he will not die. If there is a Thor in your game, I would be stunned if they are the character that don't have the least deaths. He is the absolute go-to pick right now. He is basically a DPS character with the health of a tank with the ability to gain bonus health. Just absolutely bonkers. He should be the #1 pick. If you've not got a Thor on your team at the start of a round in the lower ranks, you're throwing. Thor has to be on your team. And then Venom, I think, is a really interesting one. Because Venom is a character that I think it comes down to skill ability and utility. I am fully aware that right now Venom is one of the best characters in the game at the higher ranks. At the lower ranks, I think it's a real struggle for him. I'm still going to put him in B tier because the amount of health he has can be really, really annoying. But I need to reiterate all the things I've said so far about tanking in the lower ranks. Most of the time, you're solo tanking. If you're solo tanking as Venom, there is no point presence. He will dive in, he will do his Venom thing, but then there will be no one on the point and the opposition tank will just take the point. And then you've got no value out of Venom. People don't know how to power him up properly. Mantis is not really used effectively in the lower ranks. We'll get to her way, way later. So you don't get the Venom, Mantis, power up, dive bomb, explosion thing. That doesn't happen. People don't combo his ults with things like lunar ults or rocket amplifiers or anything like that. So you don't tend to get a lot of kills with Venom's ult. And also, he's actually quite difficult to use. His, like, tentacles going blah, 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 blah. It's quite hard to hit those shots. And I think people are not good enough at the lower ranks to do the amount of damage you need to do with Venom for him to be effective. I think if you're going to do something like that, it's still better to play Captain America than it is of Venom. Obviously, Venom's got a lot more survivability, but I think you're going to get more kills with Captain America, more utility out of Captain America. But, yeah, I just think right now, lower ranks, Venom is not doing enough to be higher than B tier. On to the DPS slash duelist slash whatever you want to call them, the offensive players in the game. And we start off with Black Panther, which I have to put in S tier for the lower ranks, but I don't want to do that. The only reason I'm doing that is because of the amount of Smurfs there are at lower ranks. And with that being said, I'm going to put Magic in the S tier as well. Exactly the same reason. The amount of Smurfs you get in the lower ranks that are just playing Black Panther or Magic is painful. It is actually painful. You just get deleted. If you see one of these characters coming up against you and you get dive bombed in the first 10 seconds, you know you've basically lost the game. Because people at the lower ranks don't know how to deal with good dive, but at the same time, people at the lower ranks also don't know how to use good dive. Like, if there was no physical way that you could have smurfing in the lower ranks, I would have Black Panther and Magic down in C tier. Because they are so difficult to use. But with the amount of people that run such high-level characters on Smurf accounts in these ranks, I have to put Magic and Black Panther in S tier because you have to change your entire team composition to get something out of them. In fact, I'm going to put Magic just behind Thor. I'm going to put Black Panther there. I think all these three tanks are better than Black Panther. Personally, Magic is my hell. As someone that will play support on occasion, I back myself to deal with Black Panther to a point. I see Magic, I know I'm dying. There's nothing I can do. She's going to keep getting her health back. She's going to keep targeting my partner. I'm not going to be able to heal my partner quickly enough. My partner's not going to heal me. We'll get to that shortly when we get to the healers. But, yeah, Magic is instant death. And now with the Strange team up as well, yeah. No, absolutely. Magic is S tier. Panther is S tier. Black Widow is F tier. People can't hit their shots. Like, she's bad anyway, but people in the lower ranks simply cannot hit their shots, so it's not even worth talking about Black Widow beyond the fact that she's just an F tier character in the low ranks. Blade, I am going to put in C tier. A lot of what I'm going to talk about in the lower ranks is kind of what I've mentioned already. Things like target prioritization and utility of kit. Blade, I think, is a really tough character to get value out of. He is useful if people are solo tanking. Like, if you're playing Blade into Strange, I think you can get a lot of value out of him. The lifesteal will just keep chipping away. He can be effective, but the majority of Blade players I see in the lower ranks think they're Magic and Black Panther. Think they can push on beyond the tanks and try and get kills. They leave themselves completely isolated, and they just die. His ult is really good. Be tempted to put his ult up into B tier just for the ult, but I don't think it gets enough value. I think, again, if you were comboing it with something else, if you had a good tank player with you to use it with, sure. But with the amount of people that just disperse in the lower ranks, I just don't think Blade quite cuts it. Hawkeye, I'm putting in F tier as well. Just no value. These two, unfortunately, there are just better ranged characters available. And these two just do not get enough value in the lower ranks. I don't think they even get value in the higher ranks, so I can't put them any higher than that. Hela, I am going to put in B tier, and the only reason I'm going to put her in B tier is because of her ult. It's the only real useful thing you get out of Hela at the lower ranks, but she is still a menace. If you are playing two tanks, it's quite funny. If you actually play more meta characters like Hela, I'm going to put Phoenix in this position as well. Characters like this, the higher up the ranks you go, the higher up these characters will go. But it's because of how people play at these ranks. If you're only playing against one tank, there's no point in playing Hela. You're not going to get enough damage output. You're not going to hit the shots you need to. You're also not good enough to hit the shots you need to. And it's exactly the same with Phoenix. Both of these characters are really good high-level characters. They're not very good low-level characters. You're just not going to get as much value out of them as you're going to certain other characters that we're going to talk about later on. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying if you want to progress from the lower ranks into the higher ranks, I would say steer clear of characters like this to begin with. Use the characters that are more effective to get you up the ranks. Then when you start seeing your opposition start playing a bit more aggressively or a bit more grouped up together, that's when characters like Hela and Phoenix start becoming a bit more effective. The more dispersed everyone is, the less effective these sort of hit stand characters really are. That also applies for Human Torch. I know people think that Human Torch is the best DPS in the game. Lower ranks, he has no value. Like people don't know how to use him properly. They use his fireballs. They like to make a little box, but they don't know how to do it properly. They won't join it up. Most of the time I see a Human Torch, I'll just see a line of fire rather than a triangle or a rectangle or whatever it is they're trying to make. They can't do it properly. Also, they're scared. The main reason they're playing Human Torch is because they've played someone like Blade or Iron Fist or like some Mr. Fantastic, someone that's close to the point, or a Storm, and they're getting killed, and they don't want to get killed anymore. So they go to a character like Human Torch because they see other content creators' videos, and they're like, Human Torch is an S-tier character. Oh, I'm going to pick them. And they like basically play up here, behind my face. They're like over here. The fight's going on over here, and Human Torch is like up here, or over here. And he's doing no damage because of the damage fall off. He's doing nothing. So I'll keep him in B tier because a good Human Torch player, like a Smurf, Panther, or a Magic, yeah, you'd probably put them up in A tier. But if it's a standard person on Human Torch, it's like C tier, D tier. They really don't offer much in the lower ranks other than his ult. His ult is devastating, just tornado, 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 tornado. It's really bad for supports. People don't know how to handle that. So that's the only reason I'm putting him in B tier. Iron Fist, I'm putting in D tier. He does nothing. He does absolutely nothing. The amount of characters that are anti-dive in lower ranks are really effective against Iron Fist. The abilities of Magic and Black Panther is their speed to evade and Magic's ability to gain extra health with every hit. Yes, Iron Fist has his own ability to gain bonus health, but he's just an accident waiting to happen. And his ult sucks. His ult is like just Iron Fist with a Mantis boost. He really doesn't scare me in the slightest. All you need to do is just have anyone playing like a Namor or Scarlet Witch or Cloak and Dagger or even like a Loki with a Loki rune or Warlock with the Soul Bomb of just a couple of bits of healing, and Iron Fist is going to be dead before he's killed anyone. He offers no value at the lower ranks. But if you buffed him, like one small buff and he goes straight to S tier, because then the Smurfs will start jumping on Iron Fist like they jump on Panther and Magic. So yeah, really don't know how you'd get more out of him, but yeah, it's a tough one. Iron Man's S tier, no doubt about that. Again, people can't hit their shots. Like I spoke about people like Hela. People aren't good enough in the lower ranks to counter Iron Man. He does splash damage that's insane. His Unibeam melts anything else that's in the sky. With people only playing one tank, he can just focus on that one tank and kill them. He can fly past the one tank and just shoot at support, because support don't know how to deal with him. And his ult is just game-breaking at lower ranks. People have no idea how to deal with it. You don't even have to use Iron Man the way you're supposed to use Iron Man, which is when someone does a support ult, you just Iron Man the support ult. Like, Iron Man can literally just fly into a space, ult, and 3 or 4 people go boom at any point in time. Like, he's absolutely devastating. If an Iron Man's on the opposition team at lower ranks, you're in big, big trouble. Unless you play your own Iron Man, which is kind of proof of why he's an S tier. The best counter to Iron Man in the lower ranks is another Iron Man, and then it just becomes whichever Iron Man wins the Battle of the Skies, ends up winning the round for their team. In fact, I'm actually going to put Iron Man just after Penny. I think that's about fair. I should probably reorder these, actually. I'm going to put Blade before Thing. I'm going to put Fist before Angela, Hawkeye before Widow. Any of these go higher? No, I think all 3 of those tanks are better than all 3 of those DPSs. Next up, Mr. Fantastic. Now, Mr. Fantastic is my personal favourite character. He is the second person I got Lord with. He's someone I've got an 80% win rate across every single season. He is someone who is really, really effective at the lower ranks. However, buffs to certain characters, and obviously the introduction of players like Emma, have made it that he's just not needed. The only reason I think Mr. Fantastic is still good is that whole thing about target prioritization. The reason why Mr. Fantastic sucks at the higher ranks is because people see a Mr. Fantastic, they will shoot at him until he goes, and the moment that disappears, everyone shoots Mr. Fantastic and Mr. Fantastic dies. That doesn't happen in the lower ranks because people don't understand target priority. So you'll get a lot more stalling out of him. Like, I've been able to stall points 4v1 on Mr. Fantastic, sometimes even like 5 or 6v1 with Mr. Fantastic long enough for my team to get back because I'm good enough to know when to puff up, know when to use my jump in to get bonus health, know how to use my Invisible Woman team up to then manage to get myself into my inflated state where I can then duck around for a little bit and then get my puff up state back again. The problem is, I don't want to pick him anymore. If I'm going to pick Mr. Fantastic, I would now pick Thor. Thor has just as much damage output as Mr. Fantastic. He has more health than Mr. Fantastic. He has multiple life gain abilities that are more effective than Mr. Fantastic's. And now Thor's ult is better than Mr. Fantastic's because where Fantastic goes bounce, 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 and healers can just heal each other and it doesn't kill them, Thor will go zap, 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 boom, they're dead. So there is no value in picking Mr. Fantastic right now unless Thor is banned. So much as it pains me to do it, I'm going to only put him in C tier. I do think that he has the ability in lower ranks to be like B tier or A tier. But no, I can't put him any higher than C. I think he's better than Blade. I think he's better than Groot. He's like top of C tier, bottom of B tier for me, Mr. Fantastic, right now. Moon Knight, it's a toss-up between S and A. I'm going to put him in A. I'm going to put him above Hulk. He's definitely better than Hulk. But I don't want to like overpopulate the S tier and not put anyone in A tier. So I'm going to put Moon Knight in A tier. His buff is incredible. The double crescent moon is insane. Again, target prioritization. People don't recognize there's onks on the floor. I've seen support players run into the radius of an onk and die. How they don't see it, I don't know. Like, it's a pre-existing onk that's already killed them. And I'll see support players walk into that same space and get killed by Moon Knight again. And then obviously the moon is one of the best ults in the entire game. Especially at lower ranks. People just panic. Like, you could get no kills with the moon. And you will still win the fight. Because everyone just goes, ah, the moon! And they just go everywhere. And your team just rolls up to the point and takes the point. And you don't even have to get any kills out of it. But you're going to get a kill. It's very rare you see a Moon Knight moon and not get a kill in low ranks. He's devastating. He could be A tier. Sorry, could be S tier. But I think Iron Man, Magic, and Panther get more kills than Moon Knight at these ranks. Only, again, given the fact that Magic and Panther are Smurfs, whereas Moon Knight can just be absolutely anyone. Namor is also going in the A tier. He's going to go above Banner, but below Moon Knight. He's such a good anti-dive character in these ranks. People, again, I've just spoken about target prioritization when it comes to Moon Knight's onks. People don't target the squids. Like, they'll just sit there going zap, 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 zap. If you've got the Gamma Squid, like, Namor with Gamma Squid is S tier in lower ranks, but we can't do that. We can't assume that we're going to always have the Gamma Squid. So we're going to put him in A tier. Really, really effective. A lot of damage with both of his standard attacks. And yeah, the squids are just ridiculous. People don't know how to avoid the whale. They will, like, see it and be like, oh, what's that? Is Jeff ulting me? Wait, the other team doesn't even have a Jeff and we've been squished by a whale. So it's, yeah, Namor's in a really good space in lower ranks. He's going to get an awful lot of kills. He's going to get an awful lot of damage. The only concern would be that he is just feeding support ults. But again, we'll get to support shortly. The supports aren't particularly that good in the lower ranks. Psylocke, I am going to put like middle of B tier. I'm going to put her just ahead of Captain America because you do get some Smurfs on Psylocke. You do get some really good Psylocke players, but she's not as effective as the other dive characters. She just isn't in these ranks. She's useful. The Emma team up's useful, but I don't think people know how to use it properly. The nerfs have been really damaging to her. Invisibility's not as good anymore. Her ult's not as good anymore. People will still die to the Psylocke ult in lower ranks because they don't know how to deal with it. You either have to fully disperse or fully group up. The amount of times I'll see a Psylocke kill 2 people just sort of tells you why she's still good in lower ranks. But again, I think how difficult she is to use, how accurate you have to be to use her, It's the same as Phoenix and Hela. You've got to be so accurate with characters like Psylocke, and people in the lower ranks just aren't. You'll still get good value out of her, but not as much as you would say, even if you're like flanked as Moon Knight or flanked as Namor, you're going to do better with these characters than you are with Psylocke, because these guys are easier to use to get kills when you're flanking in behind. Scarlet Witch, S tier. She's definitely lower than Iron Man. I'm going to put her in between. Nah, I can't put her in between Strange and Emma. In fact, I'm going to put Emma above Strange, and then I'm going to have Wanda above Strange, because of how good she is at lower ranks. This is a character that as you go up in ranks, like, say she's S tier in bronze, you could then say she's like A tier in silver, B tier in gold, C tier in platinum, D tier in diamond, F tier beyond. But at the start, she has to be an S tier, because people don't know how to deal with her. They just see this red streak coming at them going, buzz, and they don't know what to do. They don't know where she is. They just panic. They start running away. She'll chase them down and kill them. She's really good at handling dive characters. She'll melt tanks. She's good at dealing with enemy flyers. Like I said about the only counter to Iron Man being another Iron Man, if you manage to get a Scarlet Witch anywhere close enough to Iron Man that she can start buzzing Iron Man will die before Iron Man kills Scarlet Witch, because the Iron Man doesn't know where she is. I can tell you that right now. Anyone that's getting pushed by Scarlet Witch from, I'm going to say, bronze to platinum, they don't know where she is. And she's just killing them. And the team up with Strange, yes, it's been nerfed, but it's still very, very good. And her ult in lower ranks, people just can't deal with it. Like, unless you've got a really good Penny that can web her, or a really good Emma that can choke slam her, or a really, really good Hulk that can freeze her out of the sky, that ult is going off. People do not kill her. They are too scared of her to try and kill her, which is the most frustrating thing, as I'm a tank main. Like, say I'm Thor, right? I can do some damage to her, but I know I'm not going to get away quick enough. I might be able to, but the chances are her black hole's going to suck me back in, so I'm going to die. So my only option is to try and kill her, or what I've done a couple of times as Thor is push her away, so I'm the only one that dies. But people just don't kill her. They do not kill her. All you need to do when she ults is just shoot at her, and people just hear pure, and that's it. They're gone. See you later. It's like the moon. The moon, run. Pure, run. So, again, even if she doesn't get a kill with it, she'll clear the point, but she's going to get kills with it, and her damage at this rank is ridiculous. You play Witch into any half-decent character at this rank, and she's going to get kills. Spider-Man. Most Spider-Man players are Smurfs, but I don't think Spider-Man is a difficult character to play against. His only real usage is to web people off the map, but unless you're playing against a Smurf, that's not going to happen very often. And people just think they can play Spider-Man. People want to play Spider-Man. Of course they do. It's Spider-Man. So I'm going to put him bottom of B tier, because there's enough good Spider-Mans in lower ranks that you're going to get value out of him. But you're going to get as many Spider-Mans on your team that don't know how to play Spider-Man that are just flat out throwing. So I'm going to put Spider-Man in the bottom of B tier. I would put him top of C tier, but I think you're going to get more value out of Spider-Man than you're going to get out of these four characters. Plus his ult, people can't deal with it at lower ranks as well. You'll very often... Like, I've seen Spider-Man do absolutely nothing all game, but they'll get 8 final kills, and it will be the 2 support players all 4 times they ulted. So there's going to be some value from him, but overall, he's not that great. Squirrel Girl, her nerfs are noticeable, but not noticeable enough to stop her being in the A tier in lower ranks. I would say she's better than Namor, but not as good as Moon Knight. Again, people don't know how to deal with her ult, target prioritization. No one shoots the squirrels, they just run away. People don't know where she is. She could be firing her acorns from Mars, and she'd still be getting hits. Dive don't go for her. People that play dive think their job is just to go for supports, which it is, but it's also to go for the Squirrel Girl that's sitting 5 yards next to the support, firing acorns at my one tank that's getting absolutely deleted. So Squirrel Girl is still very, very effective. Again, a bit like Wanda, the higher up the ranks you go, the less effective she becomes. But in lower ranks, she's absolutely ridiculous, so she needs to stay in at least the A tier. I think the Nurse are enough to push her out of S tier, though. Star-Lord sucks. He is... Well, he's above Fantastic. Star-Lord is just above Fantastic because he is an ult. Star-Lord without his ult is F tier. Like, I'm not kidding. He's like there. Star-Lord without ult is here. Star-Lord with ult is here. Just above Fantastic. So, I'm not going to put him any higher than that. There are some decent Star-Lord players out there. But again, if he tries to push, he's just going to get budged. Like, if you're playing a Star-Lord and the other team's got Scarlet Witch, Star-Lord's got no chance. No chance at all. So... yeah, no, I don't see Star-Lord having any value outside of his ult, and his ult is the only reason he gets in C tier. Storm is minimum A tier. I don't know why no one plays her. I really don't. I think she's one of the best ults in the game, but again, people don't know how to counter it. It's a fast ult as well, so you can't even run away from it. Oh, she's either top of A tier or bottom of S tier. I want to put her above Panther, but I think if you're coming up against a Smurf Panther, it's worse than playing against a normal Storm. So I'm going to put her top of A tier. I think she has more value than Moon Knight because people don't shoot at her. People can't look up. That's why Iron Man's in S tier. People lack the ability to tilt their camera upwards. I know Storm is normally like, you know, if Human Torch is still up here, then Storm is like here. She's just above the fight. She's just above the tank. But yeah, her radius damage thing is so effective. Her chain lightning is so effective. When she powers up and does those little lightning strikes, people don't know how to handle that. And yeah, a Storm ult in lower ranks, everybody dies. Everybody dies. Punisher is also A tier. Probably after Namor, because again, target priority. He's the best use for dealing with flyers because you have multiple shots. Hela, you have to hit your shots. Phoenix, you have to hit your shots. Punisher, you have 40 rounds. You can just go... You're going to hit the flyers a little bit. You can apply a little bit of pressure to someone like Iron Man. His turret is really effective. People don't know how to use it properly, but his turret is very effective, and his ult is ridiculous. And again, in lower ranks, rather than trying to shoot the Punisher that's going to absolutely obliterate you, people turn and run. And what tends to happen is, even though they've turned and run, Punisher kills them. Or, because everyone's run away, I'm sitting there as Thor or Emma or Strange, and I go, oh dear, I'm about to die. Brrr, dead. So, yeah, Punisher very devastating at lower ranks. He's at least A tier. I don't think he's as effective as Namor or Squirrel Girl right now, though, so I'm going to leave him there. Bucky. Really tough one. In my opinion, very high skill character to be effective. I'm just going to put him in the same bracket as these two. He is like Psylocke, but I'm actually going to put him above Captain America and Venom. I think Bucky is really dangerous. He's armed and dangerous. Well, hey. But I don't think I can put him in this rank. I really don't. I think, again, it's a case of all the things I've spoken about already. Target prioritization. Ability to actually use the kit of the character. Higher ranks, all of these probably flip with all of these. But in lower ranks, the Bucky players, they're not as accurate. They don't know how to hit their pull-in. They don't know the combo to then pull him in and then uppercut. Basically, they're just waiting for the chance to ult. And even then, half the Bucky ults at lower ranks are 0 kills. There's no middle ground. It's either 5 kills or no kills with a Bucky ult in the lower ranks. And that, again, might be due to the fact that half of the Bucky players are on Smurf accounts, or they're just people that haven't played for a while and their only character is Bucky. I don't think he deserves to be in the higher ranks, in the higher tiers, should I say, in the lower ranks, but he is a real problem. In fact, I'm going to put him top of B tier. I'm going to put him above Mag, because the tough play, the really good Buckies I play against are a serious problem. And then finally, it is Wolverine, who... I might get flamed for this. I'm going to put Wolverine in D tier. The only good thing about Wolverine is his ability to deal with tanks. And as I've already mentioned on multiple occasions in this video, people only play one tank. So, unless that tank is Strange, Wolverine has no value. Emma, hard countered. Penny, he goes into that nest to try and steal Penny. Boom. Thor has enough health to get it back. Strange, it's a problem. Hulk can protect himself. Mag can protect himself. He's not going near Venom. Groot doesn't get played enough anyway. Thing is a hard counter. Angela, he can't touch. I just don't think there's much value in Wolverine right now. I'm even tempted to put Iron Fist above him and say Wolverine's the worst DPS in the game at lower ranks. But I do, as in like, other than these two, like these two are just tragic. But yeah, I'm sorry, Wolverine fans. I can't put him any higher than D tier. Then we have the support players. Adam Warlock, I think, is a very, very good character that nobody has any idea how to use in lower ranks. So for Adam, I can only put him in C tier. I'm going to put him above Fantastic, below Star-Lord. Really, really good character. If people actually play together, I think he can be really effective. He's still got his res, as in terms of his personal res. His Born Again, if used correctly, is really, really effective. But people don't know how to use it correctly. They will spam his healing ability because they think, oh, I'm a healer, I need to heal people. And they'll use both his healing abilities immediately. Then he can't heal for 10 seconds. They'll use his Soul Bond too early. It's just not happening for Adam at the lower ranks. It just really isn't. You need a high-skill Adam Warlock player to be effective. A high-skill Adam Warlock player at lower ranks is probably A tier or S tier. But 95% of Adams in lower ranks just don't know how to play him properly. Cloak and Dagger is the best support in lower ranks. There's no doubt about that. I am going to put her... Oh, it's either side of Penny. I'm going to put her just behind Penny. Easiest healer to use. Absolute easiest. Just fling, 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 fling. Remember what I mentioned about the amount of people that disperse. You might have an Iron Man up in the air. You might have a witch out somewhere. You've probably got a Spider-Man flying around. You might have a Squirrel Girl out to the side. A Moon Knight out to the side. And you've got that one tank you need to heal. Cloak and Dagger's your best bet. Because they can just throw those daggers out in all which directions they want. And they'll find their mark and they'll get heals. In the rare scenario that people actually group up, her group healing is really, really effective as well. And then her ult is fantastic. Most people don't know how to do the counters. Most people will Iron Man ult just whenever. Most people will Magneto ult whenever. So the actual counters to the Cloak and Dagger ult don't really exist in the lower ranks other than like 20% of the time. So they have the most value in terms of support in the lower ranks. They are easily the best support character in the lower ranks. Invis is at least A after the buffs. She is really, really good now. Excuse me. Her ult is much, much better as well. Can combo it really nicely with Scarlet Witch's ult. Imagine comboing ults in lower ranks, right? She's top A tier. I wouldn't say she's S tier, but she's absolutely top A tier. Again, really easy to use. Just throw your heals out, put your shield up. Really, really comfortable healing. You don't have to be accurate with her, and you'll still get really good value out of her. Jeff the Land Shark. And I could put him even higher. I could put him even higher. This is the second best support in the lower ranks. And I'm saying this in regards to the fact that even if you're playing double support, unless you are playing against Magic or Black Panther, that's a Smurf account, Jeff dominates. Jeff absolutely dominates. His stream down the long corridors on certain maps, people can't deal with it. The damage output he does when he does his little spits is really, really good. His ult, okay, it's not great, but now he can do the healing thing as well. Just makes it really, really good. But when he can steal someone off the point, people don't panic enough. You think how quickly people disperse from Scarlet Witch and people disperse from Moon Knight. For some reason, they don't disperse from Jeff. So Jeff can swallow multiple people up and swim them away. He is ridiculous in the lower ranks. And people just don't kill him. I don't know it's because they think he's so cute that they're just like, oh, we can't kill Jeff. That's just really mean. But honestly, yeah, I could put him even higher. If you're playing double tank and you've got a Jeff, you're fine. Part of the reason why I have Thor and the top character in the game is because of the amount of people in lower ranks that play Jeff. So if you think I'm Thor, doing all of my abilities, getting the constant bonus health, doing DPS levels of damage, and I've got a constant Jeff stream at my back, I'm unkillable. I'm absolutely unkillable. There's a temptation for me to literally put Thor Jeff as its own little team up above everyone else. but I still think Cloak and Dagger is better, and I still think you get more value out of Strange, Wanda, Emma, Iron Man. So I'm putting Jeff there, but he is an absolute S tier character. Loki in lower ranks is absolutely arse now. Like, honestly, I'm gonna put him lower than Warlock. I'm gonna put him there between Groot and Blade. He does less healing now. His runes take way more to recharge. His damage output is now tragic. Like, Jeff does more damage. Cloak and Dagger does more damage. Luna does more damage. Ultron does way more damage. There's no reason to pick Loki anymore. Like, the only reason you would pick Loki is to copy a Luna ult. But Invis's ult is almost as good as Luna's now. Cloak and Dagger's ult is almost as good as Luna's now. So I just don't see any value in picking Loki. People don't play triple support in lower ranks. I should have stressed that at the start. People do not play triple support in lower ranks. And we'll get to that when we get to these last couple here. I just don't think there is much value in picking Loki in Season 4. He needs to be buffed back up to get him back into the B or A tier for lower ranks. I wouldn't say Loki's S tier in lower ranks, even pre-patch. But he's not got much value right now. Luna, I'm just literally going to group Luna with the rest. I'm literally going to group her with the rest. She is another character that relies on a lot of accuracy. She also relies on having 2 tanks on the point. You want to use her clap ability. You want to make the most out of it. You need 2 tanks on the point that you can consistently heal and consistently do damage with. You're going to get more value out of literally playing Jeff than you are playing Luna. If you've got multiple flyers, sure, her Snowflake is useful, but then you've got to focus on that one tank to give the Snowflake healing to the other person. Just play Cloak and Dagger and throw the daggers out and heal everyone that needs healing. You're not accurate enough. If you're someone that can't hit your shots with Hela or Phoenix or whatever, you're not hitting your shots with Luna. So, although her ult is still the best defensive ult in the game, it's not as valuable in lower ranks as just going Cloak and Dagger and Invisible Woman and Jeff. For me, all 3 of these right now are in a better spot than Luna are in the lower ranks. Mantis, currently regarded as the most useful support in the entire game at the higher ranks. I'm genuinely tempted to put in D tier at the lower ranks. I'm not kidding. She is so bad at the lower ranks. It is unbelievable. I can't put her in D tier because that's really mean. I'm going to put her bottom of C tier. And again, it is due to all of the things I've been speaking about all video. People don't play triple support. I think a triple support with Mantis in the lower ranks would work. People don't play triple support. Target prioritization. People don't know who to go for. Mantis will just heal the person closest to them rather than trying to look for someone that actually needs healing. Also, they will damage boost the person that's right next to them. The big combo right now that everyone's talking about is Mantis boosting Venom. That's never happening at the lower ranks. Mantis is not going to boost Venom. She's going to boost the DPS standing next to them. I've seen multiple occasions where a Mantis has boosted the other healer standing next to them. Her ult is not as good as the other characters. Her sleep is useful, but people aren't good enough to hit it. And also, the 2 big factors is she has 4 leaves. Most Mantis players at lower ranks will just go heal, 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 damage, all in the space of 2 seconds, burn it all out, and then once again, like with Hela, like with Luna, like with Phoenix, they've not got the mechanical ability to then hit the shots they need to regenerate those flowers to use those abilities again. It's unfortunate because I think Mantis is a really, really strong character. She's a 1-star character for a reason, because that is because her abilities are very easy to use. However, they are very, very, very difficult to actually be effective with. And at the lower ranks, people don't know how to use it. So for me, Mantis goes in C tier. Rocket, I'm going to put right at the bottom of B tier. Purely because, again, Phoenix isn't as common in lower ranks. People can't hit their shots. So his amplifier doesn't get deleted as quickly. His res is really, really effective. His team up with Penny is what makes her as high up as she is. I'm not going to put him in A tier just because of the team up. If anything, I'm putting him in B tier because of the Penny team up. So otherwise he'd be in C tier with Adam, with Loki, and with Mantis. But the team up with Penny in lower ranks is massive. The res is massive. The consistent healing he can do is really, really effective. He can just hide himself away because he's really small. So you do get a lot of value out of Rocket still at lower ranks. In fact, I'm actually going to put him... I can't put him above Luna. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put Luna up to there, next to Mag. I'm going to put Luna above Mag. And then I'm going to put Rocket just before Psylocke. That's what I'm going to do. But I still think he's that effective. And then Ultron. I am actually going to put Ultron in D tier. He's not as ineffective as Angela. He's not as ineffective as Iron Fist. He's not as ineffective as Wolverine. But he's even less effective as Mantis. For exactly all those reasons again. People don't play triple support. Ultron triple support is really, 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 really good. People do not play triple support. People do not want to play Ultron even when they've got Iron Man because they don't know how to use his ability properly. People that play Ultron are people that wanted to pick Iron Man and didn't get Iron Man, so they just pick Ultron. They don't know how to use their drone correctly. They don't know how to use their abilities correctly. If you're only playing double support and you've got Ultron as one of your 2 supports, that drone, even on your tank, is not going to do enough sustained healing where it actually has value. And then 95% of lower end players that use Ultron when they get their ult, they're using it as a DPS ult. So Ultron in lower ranks, absolutely useless unless you're playing triple support. But nobody plays triple support. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I've organised it to the best of my abilities. This is what I believe right here, right now, is the Bronze to Diamond tier list for Marvel Rivals Season 4. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know if you've enjoyed it. Do you want to see this for Season 4.5 and Season 5 and onwards and onwards and onwards? I've had a great time doing it, having a little chance to think about all of these different characters right now. As always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.